Hello, welcome to the new crossover crisis episode. How are we doing today? You can't answer. This isn't live. You can answer though, Colton.
Well, I can. I'm doing well. How about yourself?
I'm all right. I'm all right. Had a long day, but we're here. We're recording. We're ready to talk about this crossover. It really barely fits the definition.
Yeah, there wasn't much
Honestly.
crossing over at all.
But we can talk about that later. It's been a while. Well, first of all, we're recording this one pretty close to the wire because I got the month wrong on when this is going to be added to HBO Max, and to make things worse, it's not there anymore. So I had to end up paying for it anyway.
Gotta love that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's been a while. So what have you been up to?
I have been making some Pokemon stuff.
Yeah,
That's all, really.
did you talk about that last time? I think you did, or was that after we stopped recording?
Maybe. I can't remember. I might have.
But
yeah.
you're doing a ROM hack.
Yeah,
Which,
working on a ROM hack right now.
You never told me what generation you were hacking.
Third gen.
Third gen.
Doing
I think
Pokemon Emerald.
That's the most popular one to do ROM hacks of, I think.
Yep. And there's
I mean,
tons of
makes
little like
sense.
fixes and stuff, so it's a good starting point.
It makes sense. It's the balance with the most like advanced but still simple enough to work with. So once you get into like the DS ones, you're doing like 3D modeling and
Yep. And I don't really want to mess with any of that. So, but what about you? What have you been up to?
Not too much. Been pretty boring around here. Saw Thor a couple times. I think that didn't come out last time we recorded yet, did it?
I don't think so.
No, I don't. Oh well, no. I think it had. Yeah, I think we talked about it last time. It's been a few
Never
weeks,
mind.
so it's not all that fresh on what we talked about last time. But yeah, so I saw Thor again since then, but
Yeah.
yeah, not too much, not too much for me.
Laying low.
Yeah, made some progress on moving a little bit, not a lot, but
Yeah.
we got pre-approved for a mortgage.
Hey, there you
So
go.
looking for houses now.
That's big.
Yeah. We don't. Hopefully, we find something. But yeah, other than that, not not too much going on for me.
Yeah. I mean, other than potentially getting a house,
Yeah, but
not a
nothing.
whole lot going on.
Even then, not that that's the only progress we've made on it. So
Mhm.
I mean the approval is a huge step, but it isn't having a house yet. So
Yeah. True.
but we're hoping by the end of September at the earliest. So,
Fingies crossed.
yeah. Um. But yeah. Pretty boring. Few weeks to be completely honest with you. How about we move into the next segment? We talk about our feelings towards these two properties on their own, because I've got things to say. Let's start with Teen Titans Go.
That is what I know more of too.
Yeah.
So.
It fucking sucks. It's garbage. It's trash. I took my approach. So when we do shows here, I've got an approach I try to take with getting myself acquainted with them. That I've kind of refined over the course of doing this podcast, and that is, I do the first episode. I do IMDb's lowest rated episode, and I do IMDb's highest rated episode. Try to get a good range of what's going on there, and it's all bad. It's all bad.
Nothing's good.
The first episode was the most tolerable of the bunch, and as such, it doesn't give me much to say. Although you can definitely start to see where the show it's not going. The premise isn't there. for it. My biggest issue, and we can touch on this a little later, a slice of life superhero thing isn't inherently a bad idea. There's potential there. Well, you know, what do the superheroes do in their day to day? But Teen Titans Go doesn't try to do that. They still try to throw in the action, but the joke is always, oh, but it's for super low stakes or whatever. And when you're replacing the original show with that, and to be completely honest, I haven't seen that much of the original show. It's something I want to get back to and see, because I've loved what I have seen of it.
It's fucking awesome.
But it's not there. And I you know, there's all the complaints about it where, you know, you're replacing that, it's a huge downgrade, and we move into where I can really talk about this, really address this in the worst rated episode, The Return of Slade. Anyone who's familiar with the show knows how infamous the episode The Return of Slade is. Well, first of all, Slade being the biggest villain of the original show, and how, you know, this title and the marketing leading up to it kind of hypes up, oh, Slade is coming to the show. Completely skip over that, and that's something this show just loves to do. Skip over all of the actual action that happens, or like I'd say a good 80% of it, because it has action sometimes, I'll give it that. And they get back and they're celebrating their huge win over Slade, and Beast Boy and Cyborg want to hire a clown for their party to celebrate. And they think the clown gets there and they think, oh, this clown is lame. When we were younger, we remember clowns being way cooler. And everyone's like, well, yeah, you're older now. It's for kids.
Yeah.
And they're like, no, we'll make it cooler. And they straight up do some villain shit to this clown. They torture this clown, basically, to make it
Jesus
cool.
Christ.
And the clown starts terrorizing, and there's this whole thing of, oh man, trying to make this clown cool, that's gonna ruin children's entertainment. Do you get where this is going? They're making fun of the people who complain about this show replacing the original. That's what this is.
Fucked up.
And all of their complaints hold zero weight. They hold zero weight. All of what they're trying, all the points they're trying to make here. Because you can go back and watch the original. It did take itself more seriously. It wasn't juvenile and for babies. For fucking babies.
No, this show is for babies.
It hurts. It hurts to watch. And the most annoying thing in Teen Titans Go, which even it is exemplified at its height in this particular special, which we can get to, is Starfire. The way they treat... In the original show, yes, she said the word "the" at inappropriate moments, but that was just her kind of misunderstanding culture. In Teen Titans Go, she says it in front of every fucking noun. And it is the most annoying shit.
It's terrible writing.
It's the most annoying fucking thing. And, I mean, I can say that, but every character is so fucking annoying in this show. They are caricatures of themselves in the worst possible way. Because, and to the point, it self-parodies a lot, but it can't get away with it, because when they self-parody, they are exemplifying exactly why people hate it. And they show that they know why people hate it, and yet refuse to change. There's this character, Control Freak, who we do see in the special, but has shown up at other times. That's his whole shtick, is just pointing out the problems with the show while the show refuses to fix it. It's not funny. It's just sad.
It gets old real quick.
And this show's about to enter its 8th season.
How?
8. While our other show, DC Superhero Girls, I don't think is getting a 3rd. And that makes me sad. That makes me sad because DC Superhero Girls, I was going to take this approach with it of the first, the worst and the best, but it actually had like a 4-part pilot, so I just watched all 4 of those, and it was way better than I was anticipating.
Yeah,
I was expecting like, not Teen Titans Go bad, like maybe a little better than that, but like I didn't have the highest faith in it.
Yeah, going to it with no expectations,
yeah,
just so you're not disappointed.
And for the most part, it's actually like really good. It doesn't insult its audience the entire time. There's a couple moments where I'm like, okay, you're like going a bit too heavy into the whole like, oh, teens are obsessed with their phones thing or whatever, a couple times. But for the most part, it's actually like a genuinely sweet show just about this group of friends. And it accomplishes what Teen Titans Go fails to do by balancing the slice of life with the action really well. Like, there's a really great balancing act between those two elements, at least in what I've seen. And it actually, like, after watching those 4 episodes, I want to keep watching. I'm going to keep going with that show because it's like I like it. And after this special, I'm like, ooh, I can see where like some of this goes, and I'd like to see how that plays out. I see a very interesting dynamic between Batgirl and Harley Quinn. That like, they were like friends, but Harley's a villain and Batgirl's a hero, and that's a fun thing. Also, they're both voiced by the incredible Tara Strong.
Same person?
Yeah, I love Tara Strong voices fucking everyone.
I did not know that.
She's a legend in voice acting.
Hell yeah.
She also voices Raven in both Teen Titans productions, both of the shows.
Learning all sorts of new shit.
She's Ben 10. She's Timmy Turner. She's she's Miss Minutes in Loki.
What the fuck?
Yeah, she's everywhere.
She's in everything. Yeah,
she is absolutely in everything. But yeah, it makes me real sad to see, Teen Titans Go, just Cartoon Network keeps pushing it and pushing it and pushing it for so long, while letting all these other great shows they have die on the vine. It's and then they argue that, oh well, we only push it so much because it's our most popular show. It's your most popular show because it's the only thing you play.
Yeah,
and it's not as bad anymore. But I've seen, like, there's like a old Tumblr account. They don't post there anymore, but they keep a Twitter that still has the same thing. Cartoon Network schedule archive. Some of the schedules I've seen, there's literally one where everything except 2 episodes were Teen Titans Go. They had 2 episodes of Steven Universe that week, and everything else was Teen Titans Go.
That is not okay.
For a whole week.
That is bad.
Yeah. And even, I haven't even addressed when I watched the most popular episode, most highest rated episode of the show. It's an episode called 40%, 40%, 20%. Nothing happens in this episode. I am convinced it was rated that high, like, as a joke. Like, people were ironically giving it good ratings. Because nothing happens in this episode. The whole thing is Cyborg is really obsessed with this one song. He plays it all the time, and the rest of the Titans are annoyed by it. They go on a mission, but they leave him behind because he can't do anything without the song. So he doesn't get to go until he can open this pickle jar without listening to the song. He never gets it, but they're kidnapped, so he goes and he saves them while listening to the song. That's the whole episode.
That is so stupid.
It's so... The only redeeming quality that it has is it does this like animation style change where it like goes into like he's like imagining they're in a music video for the song. And like it's good animation, but there's no story to back it up. nothing happens. Like actually,
That's so annoying.
yeah. Um, that's
That'd be funny
okay.
as
But
that'd be
yeah,
funny as fuck though if that's actually how it got the highest rating was just
yeah,
review bombing.
yeah. It's um, but we're gonna touch on a lot of Teen Titans Go on this podcast because they've actually done a lot of crossovers. Too many. This isn't even their only crossover with superhero girls, which they address in the special. Um, however, I have one nice thing to say about Teen Titans Go. Teen Titans Go to the movies kicks ass. Like that's actually a good movie, and I hate how much I like it because it betrays how much I hate the show. But have you seen Teen Titans Go to the movies?
I have not.
It's actually so good. Like
What's it about?
I was shocked. It's basically the whole thing is Robin really wants a movie because he thinks that like all the other big superheroes have their own movies, and he thinks his status as a superhero is lessened because he doesn't have one. So his whole goal is to get a movie, and it turns out to be like Deathstroke was like the director, and he like tricks them and whatever, and he uses this to like mind control so many other superheroes, and the Teen Titans have to fight against them. And like
that sounds actually good.
Yeah, it was like actually so good, and there was like a much higher production value to it. I just went to it expecting nothing, and I was like, oh, that was like actually good.
Hell yeah.
And it has one of my favorite Stan Lee cameos. Like,
what does he do?
When they're on the Warner Brothers lot touring sets and everything, Stan Lee is there, and he says, "Hey, everybody, what's up?" And someone comes up to him and like whispers in his ear, and he's like, "This is a DC movie. I gotta get out of here."
Stan Lee is such a good.
And then later he shows back up while all the like there's a chase sequence and all the Teen Titans are in a golf cart. He jumps on the hood of the golf cart and he's like, "I don't care if it's a DC movie. I love cameos."
He really lived his life.
He really did. It's one of my favorite cameos he's done. It's so funny.
I gotta get out of here. That's funny.
But yeah, I actually highly recommend Teen Titans Go to the movies. But the show though, fuck off, fuck out of here with that shit. It's so bad.
Stark contrast.
Yeah. But I suppose we can lead that into our discussion of this particular special, because they were very misleading with this, and they play with it a little bit. It's barely a crossover. This is a DC Superhero Girls special that like the Teen Titans cameo in.
They're there for like what, the first 10 minutes and then like the back 10 minutes or something.
And normally that would really annoy me. Justice League versus Teen Titans is one of the movies in like the DC animated movie universe. And Justice League and Teen Titans barely fight, and that was super annoying. But I don't care so much here because it means less Teen Titans Go.
Hey.
The whole time we're going through the DC Superhero Girls stuff, and like I'm enjoying it, but I can't enjoy it to the fullest because I'm dreading when Teen Titans Go is going to come back.
Yep.
But we open up, the Teen Titans are, I don't know, fucking whatever they're doing. They're admiring their new
TV stand.
And Control Freak comes in, who we mentioned before, and he's like, "Oh, you're doing a crossover now." But then they just sit and they watch the DC Superhero Girls do their thing. And also Beast Boy props up their stand with this jewel, which becomes important. That will become important later. I recognized it immediately when it showed back up in the thing. I was like, wait a minute, that looks exactly like, okay.
Yeah.
But then we get a pretty good DC Superhero Girls special where Lex Luthor has this, I don't know, he has the jewel that has this Kryptonian goddess of darkness in it, and we find out later she wants to possess Supergirl's body, and use this to take over the world or whatever. Typical. No, it's not highbrow. It's not, but it's DC superhero girls, and it plays with the dynamics of the team very well. We get an interesting thing where Wonder Woman leaves them behind and joins the Justice League, and they all feel betrayed, and all this stuff. And I've got to say, I love the character dynamics here. All the characters are really fun. Supergirl's probably my favorite. I really like. It's very different than any other interpretation of the character I've seen. But it kind of has to be. They have to, they have to separate these characters from each other enough. They need their own archetype. And she's the, as they repeat a lot in this special, she's bullheaded. They say that word several times, but it's accurate. She's very headstrong, rushes into action, doesn't think too much about what she's doing. And she's a very fun character.
Yeah.
Batgirl is another favorite of mine. She's just excited about everything, especially in those earlier episodes. Oh my god, she's all over the place. It's in those earlier episodes of the show, she's the new girl stereotype. She's new to the school, and she's the one who wants to bring the whole team together. But we go through all of this, and the villains are sending superheroes to the Phantom Zone, and to be honest, there isn't too much remarkable in this portion of it, because it's kind of very typical, what you'd expect.
Yeah.
From what we got here.
Build up.
But it's kind of in the back half where things pick up. Halfway through, we cut back to the Teen Titans, and immediately, no joke, for those of you who are watching, this is, while I was watching it right here, I was like, I just fell back. This, the moment Teen Titans go, I was like, it's gonna happen. It's gonna.
Got to do this shit again.
Gotta deal with this shit. But they're only there for 2 minutes, complaining about how they're not in it, and then we get back to the superhero girls, and I'm like, all right, I can enjoy it. Please continue with the good part.
Yes.
It is baffling, the difference in the quality in those parts. It's so frustrating because, as we said earlier, Teen Titans Go knows it's bad and refuses to do anything about it. And it continues to do that through this special. But eventually they come up with this plan. The superhero girls are gonna, which by the way is their team name. It's just Superhero Girls, and they joke around about that a few times. They're like, wow, we kind of got a lame name. Look, we got Legion of Doom, Justice League. Those are cool names. Speaking of Justice League, Batman cracked me up the whole time.
Oh, I think he said.
Yeah. And Aquaman.
Yeah.
Aquaman was just.
Yeah.
He sounded like Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, he did. No, I love both of them too. They are awesome.
But yeah, you couldn't understand a single word Batman said the whole time.
No,
he's just mumbling. He's like,
trying to sound brooding.
You really think so, Batman? I guess. It was great.
Yeah.
But anyway, they come up with this plan where they realize Zatanna, who is, I think, a very underutilized character from DC. I've really only seen her in this. I know she's getting an HBO Max movie at some point that's supposed to be set in the main movie universe, but that we've known about that for many years and have heard next to no updates.
Nothing.
So I don't know what's going on with that.
Yeah.
But they use her magic to. They're like, oh, if we use your magic, we can navigate into the Phantom Zone, and rescue the heroes who are trapped there. And her magic messes up, and they end up in Teen Titans Go for 5 minutes, where the only thing that happens is the superhero girls get completely dumbed down to the level of Teen Titans Go, which I would like. The character change, I was immediately like, this part was written by the Teen Titans Go writer, which wasn't it? I'm willing to bet they wrote that part completely. And then like the only point there is we get a little pep talk. Raven gives Zatanna a pep talk about magic and whatever, and like trusting herself. I'm like, all right, this isn't too bad. And then in true Teen Titans Go fashion, we skip over action, and they have the thing they need. They needed a battery. And the Teen Titans Go are stupid about it, and they're like, "Well, no, we can't give you the one from the remote because we want to watch TV. So we gotta go on this adventure that you don't see for it." I hate Teen Titans Go so much. And then we're done with Teen Titans Go for now. We wrap up the story. The Kryptonian, I forget her name. I literally just watched this right before we recorded. I forget the name of the Kryptonian goddess, but she wants to take over Kara's body. She succeeds. There's a really sweet talk between Superman and Supergirl about like he's like jealous of her because she like he's like, well, my only strength is my superpower. You like have you can like make friends, and my only friend's Batman. Look at that weirdo. But then her body gets taken over, and we get a little fight between them in her mind, and it's her friends believing in her. You know, typical. You know, it's for kids. It's gonna be her friends believe in her, and she can get through it. And they banish the gem to another dimension. And now we have to deal with Teen Titans Go again for like 2 minutes. We find out, yep, that's the gem that you put under the TV stand, and they fight it away for a bit. And Raven sends it to another dimension. And there's a fun little like Super Friends thing, and it's over. Which they made Super Friends references earlier when like Aquaman was like, I wanted to call the Justice League Super Friends, but I got outvoted. I did like the whole thing, like Zatanna having a crush on Aquaman was kind of fun. Like I was like, oh they're like a group of teenage girls. It's
bound to happen.
She would have a crush on like on this dude. So it was overall it was pretty fun. I liked I haven't seen too much of it. I like the depictions of some of the like secondary characters in DC Superhero Girls. Flash in the show, he like works at that like ice cream shop. And they were just like, oh yeah, he's very quick, you know, he's all over the place, you know, very it's fun. And this was actually pretty good, only because it was misleading. Like, I was dreading dealing with Teen Titans Go shit. And I was like, okay, we had like 7 minutes tops of screen time for them. And,
which was good.
Yeah, which I am fine with. I am fine with, absolutely. Because fuck that show.
The OG is so much fucking better.
So much better. We're gonna have to deal with too many. We're gonna have to deal with too many crossovers. This show keeps getting crossovers, and we're gonna have to deal with a lot of them. One of them is just they did a Mystery Science Theater style thing with Space Jam, and not even the whole movie, like the first half of the movie. Yeah. We're gonna have that one. That's one of them.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is. I do remember. I think my biggest disappointment with Teen Titans Go to the Movies isn't even the movie itself, because the movie itself is fine. But they do a post-credit scene where they tease the return of the original Teen Titans. And then it just kind of turned out to be that like direct-to-DVD movie, the Teen Titans Go versus Teen Titans, where they cross over. And we'll cover that at some point, because that's technically a crossover. I've never seen it. I heard it was
garbage.
I mean, it's Teen Titans Go. It can't be that good.
True.
Unless it's Teen Titans Go to the movies, because that is surprisingly good. But that's an exception, not a rule.
An outlier, yeah.
That's an outlier. Yes, that's the word I was looking for. Also, it's just nice to see 2D animation back in theaters. We don't get a lot of it, so that was nice in like 2018, and then I think that was like the last 2D animated movie in theaters until Bob's Burgers this year, which I haven't seen. I've heard it was. Have you seen the Bob's Burgers movie?
I'm watching it tomorrow for the first time.
I heard it was pretty good. I've seen a little bit of the show.
I love the show.
I should watch more of it. I hear really good things.
Yeah, it's so good.
But yeah, that's Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls, Mayhem in the Multiverse. A very big mouthful of a title.
Mm-hmm. Lots of words.
Lots of words. But any last thoughts from you? Because
no,
said all I wanted to say.
I mean, I pretty much agree with everything you said. Yeah, anytime Teen Titans Go is on, it was like fuck, and then anytime the superhero girls were on screen, it was actually engaging.
Yeah, and again, I just want to circle back around to like, I was surprised at how enjoyable Superhero Girls is. Teen Titans Go, like, for starters, Teen Titans Go just made me lose any faith in like DC animation for kids. And then also just Superhero Girls is a very unoriginal name, and it looks like it was like a super pandering thing, you know, just because like, oh, Superhero Girls, oh look, we made a show for the girls, and I wish it had a different name, because it really, like, that's the thing. Actually, we can circle this back into like talk about original Teen Titans, because this whole separation of like this show's for boys, this show's for girls is bullshit. And
yeah,
that's maybe one big issue I can point to with Superhero Girls, is that they still fall into that. And I think a part of that is also just societally, we're like, oh, well, the team is all girls, so it's for girls. And it's never a team of all boys, really. They have the one girl, you know, or the two, maybe. And that's not me saying, like, oh, they need to throw a boy into the team here. That's not what I'm saying. But it's like, but it's like, oh, we have a team of all girls, so only girls will want to watch this.
Yeah.
And that circles back around to why Teen Titans got canceled in the first place. But especially back then, it was way more prevalent of, this is for boys, this is for girls. And they didn't want those markets to cross at all, for whatever reason.
That's just so fucking stupid.
But they were very inconsistent with how they dealt with that. For example, if this show was for girls, but boys started getting really into it, like My Little Pony, for example, they would shift their marketing towards the boys demographic. However, if the inverse happened, if girls started getting really into the boys show, like Teen Titans, they'd just cancel that show. Like, nope. And that's exactly what happened. And then we got Teen Titans Go.
That's so stupid. My older sister was actually who showed me the OG Teen Titans too. So,
so blame her. No, don't blame her.
Yeah, I'm gonna blame her. I'm gonna give her a call as soon as we get off.
No, blame the fucking sex. Like, they couldn't even be consistent with their sexism.
No.
The way they were sexist was even more sexist somehow.
It was like super sexist. Like,
so I'm glad we're like mostly away from that now. We get shows like Steven Universe, which very much was like, this is a show for everyone. And they don't care about that as much anymore. But with things like Superhero Girls, it still becomes apparent that like bits of it are there still.
Yeah. And
I like Superhero Girls from what I've seen. Don't get me wrong, but it's the way it's marketed is a problem, and a part of that is the name of the show.
Yep.
It shouldn't have girls in the name. It shouldn't. It can be an all-girls team, but putting girls in the name immediately like cuts out, you know, a big chunk of your potential audience. because that sexism is still there.
Yep.
Within the audience, and they're gonna be like, oh, it says girls, it's for girls. I'm not gonna watch it. And that's a problem.
Agreed.
But I'm gonna keep watching Superhero Girls. I'm not gonna watch this again. I mean, I enjoy it for what it is, but those moments of Teen Titans Go, I regret, or not regret, because it's not my fault they did it so much. I guess it's my fault we're gonna watch it, but I dread how much Teen Titans Go we're gonna have to endure on this podcast, because they have so many, and some really weird ones too. They have a Beetlejuice crossover.
What the fuck?
Like, they have Freakazoid, but that.
Why?
Kids don't know what Freakazoid is.
No.
I barely know what Freakazoid is, and I'm 22. Like, but anyway, that's my rant over. I think that's this review over. I think that's this episode over.
Yeah, I liked it.
I liked it, but
Superhero
I'm not in a
part.
rush to watch it again.
Yeah, agreed.
How do we do this? How do we end these things?
Bye.
Bye. No, if get back in the camera, man. If you have any crossovers you want us to cover, let us know in the comments or on YouTube, or like tweet at us. I don't know. We're gonna do multiverses for our next episode. There we go. Back to segment 1. I've been playing that a bunch.
Addicted to it.
Oh, absolutely. In fact, the daily's just refreshed 9 minutes ago, so I'm gonna go get on there after we're done. But next episode is gonna be multiverses, and actually, if you're listening or watching when this came out, Colton and I are streaming it tomorrow. But the episode's not gonna be out for another couple weeks after that. But not tomorrow for you, because we're not releasing this for a few days. We're doing it. It's Monday.
Yeah.
So we're clear.
Monday.
Yeah.
Yep.
6:30 my time. All right. We don't need to be making plans on the podcast. We need to end the episode. Goodbye.